Alright guys, welcome to Southern Train Productions. In this video, we're going to run down everything that I have done to this railroad line, outdoor Lionel fast track line, how I've made it a whole lot better, more efficient, safer for the trains, and the new motive power that we have on the line. So, you guys can probably already see we have two trains running at one time. So I got this right here off of eBay from Southern Train Productions. Lord, that's a YouTube channel. I got this from trains.com. It's an Amtrak unit. Thing runs awesome. So this line that it's running on is actually not finished. I'm really just coating the rails. There's a lot of new track in here, and I still have to ballast all of this. But you see how we got new switches in here. And what I do, a lot of people ask me how I keep this stuff from rusting. Well, I use this no-ox, get a little bit on my finger here. And then I'll come right here to the frogs and to the track. And I'm gonna let this train take this grease and coat the entire railroad, or at least where it's running. So this train has magnet traction, so it works the best at spreading the grease because it doesn't wheel slip. Then whenever this stuff like cures up, it actually becomes really tacky, and the trains get incredible grip on it. It also protects from rust, and it is, this cat loves it. It's electrical conductive, so it actually helps with conductivity and grip, and it prevents rust. And I'm gonna give you guys an example here in a minute of actually how good this stuff is. So it's called No Ox. You can get it on eBay, really cheap. All right, so enough about the rust control and all that. Guys, I've covered this topic many, many times. My wife's car is going off. All right, so I guess my son is inside playing with the wife's keys, which is completely fine. All right, guys, so if you have followed this channel for the last year and a half, you know that we've had 036 turnouts and curves on this line, a mixture of 048 and 036. Well, right now, a large percentage of our railroad is all 072. I want to give a big shout out. I'm not sponsored by them, but they got it here quickly, and it was at an affordable price to trains.com. That's with a Z. You can find them on eBay, and I got a big lot of curved track. And here is some of it. Guys, check this out. So in this curve here, we had 048 curves. We replaced it with 072. We went ahead and put a 30-inch piece here. We put in a 072 electric switch here. And this is what I think is so cool about this. So right now I don't have it wired up. It was bought used. So the train's coming, but in the meantime, I'll show you guys what this will do. So right here, we went ahead and made this turnout here 072. This right here before was like 036, and it was horrible. Trains derailed here, ran like crap. It just wasn't in the budget yet, to upgrade this line. Hopefully soon we're going to upgrade everything to 072. Right now everything is 072 and 048. So watch this. This is what's so cool. It'll auto switch. So that prevents, derailments, which is so cool. So that's going to bring us to our next switch and curve. So this is the other one. This is the main. This is the big main loop. This right here is running on the secondary loop, which if you guys follow this channel, you know that this is our exterior loop. But I actually have new motive power. You guys want to see it. So this curve right here replaced. This turnout here is now an 048, and it was a 036, and it was terrible. I had a really hard time getting trains to run through here. And you know, the thing is I would have done it all right the first time whenever I first built this, but it just wasn't in the budget at the time. But throughout the next couple of months, we're going to really upgrade this thing, especially this interior loop. I'm thinking about making it follow like closer to over here, and we're going to see what we can do with it. And I might just leave this loop here just to run a train, and then I can eventually kick it out on the main line. So we can run 2 trains at one time, which is no problem. So you guys can see the Union Pacific right here coming through the curves. Now before, it had a hard time because not only is it's going to make this curve, but it's coming up grade. So this is probably like 5% grade. It's incredibly steep. And coming into like an 036 curve, it was just too much for it. But now we don't have any cars rocking, leaning, nothing. It works flawlessly. I couldn't be more happier. So this is I think I said 072 curves. I didn't quite order enough curve pieces to make everything like I wanted it to be. So I've had people in the comments say that this plastic will deteriorate. It's been outside for almost 1.5 years now. And all it does is just changes colors. It just gets a little bit darker. So you guys can see that the new track pieces here are slightly lighter. And I mean, it works just fine. And I am going to show you guys an example of some stuff that's been outside, some testing stuff here in just a minute. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Like I said, all we're doing is coating this new track here. And it's already got a pretty good film layer of the no-ox grease on it. So one thing my railroad was missing big time was a siding. So we had, we've got 2 big trains. We have an intermodal, which you guys have not seen the new power for it yet. And then we have our manifest. And we actually sold a large percentage of our cars on eBay. And anyone who purchased them, I just want to say thank you guys for buying those. The proceeds of that is actually what helped purchase all of these new track editions. So I'm actually thinking about selling the Amtrak. It runs great, but I really like freight stuff. So just let me know if you guys are interested in it. I'll post it up on eBay, or you can message me privately, whatever. It is like line chief control. Pretty cool. So we got our siding here, which will hold this entire manifest train plus about 5 more cars, which is pretty cool. I think this is right at like 30 or 25 cars maybe. So we need to get in here and get our new train consist out and let it run. Hopefully it will do pretty good. I did modify this curve a good bit. You guys knew it was like a S curve situation here. It was kind of difficult. So right now what I've got is a 072, a little short piece, an 047, a straight piece, an 048, and an 048 to make this work. So it took a little while to get this curve right, but I think we're good. It really needs a big sweeping curve right here to help climb this gradient because it's super steep here. I really should run this other train downhill in this particular spot, but I'm not. I really should be. But we're going to see if this CSX engine will climb the gradient. You guys have not seen it yet. This is a CSX SD. Uh-oh, look here. We had to uncouple. We're about to have a big problem. Uh-oh. All right, so now we need to get the Amtrak sided. Get him parked for a little while because he has taken up our siding. We need to get the Union Pacific manifest train on the siding here, and we'll get out the big intermodal. Our switches are made. Everything's good. We'll get this thing on a siding. Now this train here, this engine is slipping a good bit because this grease has been freshly applied. So you can see it's kind of struggling. Once it sits on here and does a good heat cycle with the sun, it'll really tack up and get really sticky. You guys can see we got wheel slip, but that's normal. It's going to really slip right here and then get some speed up. Yep. So this is just a part of doing the grease. Like I said, within 2 or 3 days, this stuff will stick up and be really, really, really tacky. But until that, you're going to get some slippage. Is this something that I've learned to deal with? I'd rather have a little bit of wheel slip than my track's rusting. So I'm going to just kind of assist it along up the gradient. So I've been using this stuff, like I said, for over a year, and it's great. It just has to kind of cure. I've noticed that it kind of cures up, and it builds up like a layer. This track here, it's like super grippy, super sticky, and it's coated with the no-wax. So now that we got this one sided, we can bring out our big intermodal. All right, guys, so this right here is our new power. It is a SD80 Mac with the Whisper cab. This is a former CS, not CSX. It is a former Conrail engine that CSX acquired back during the acquisition of CSX and Norfolk Southern, whenever they acquired Conrail. So this thing actually has like the red lights when we reverse, and we also have the rear red lights whenever we go forward. This thing is sick. So back in the day, this was called the Conrail Cadillac, and I don't remember the number of Norfolk Southern and CSX, what they got, but I know that at the end, to what I've done my research on, Norfolk Southern wound up with all of these engines, and they traded them, I think, for like SD40s or something like that. Either way, they all got scrapped, and I think that there's like one left that either Canadian National, I think that they have for parts, something like that, barely hanging on. But these things were like these were incredible in their day. Hit the bail off. So you guys can hear the horn. And we have a monstrous consist on this train. And guys, we're fixing to run it and see if it'll pull up the gradient, go through this curve, and around our line. So we're just gonna go ahead and start it and see how she does coming up the gradient. Let it build a little bit of speed. Push a lead. This thing runs awesome. So we need to go over here and make this switch. Look at how smooth this thing runs now. My kitty cat definitely approves. So in the past, I could not run this large of train without a DPU. And with these larger curves, it's not a problem at all. Like I said, we kind of had to just make a curve right here to make it work. But it works. Wow. Wow. And we'll probably go ahead and send it on the outside loop since we know that both of the other trains are sided. We'll go ahead and send it through the other loop. All right, so I do have to wire in that switch. I'm gonna put that on a board inside of my building. I got all of this stuff used from trains.com. You guys can see it works flawlessly. Now let's watch it make this this switch over here. So this switch is misaligned, but it's going to detect the current and switch automatically. I find it amazing. Wow. Guys, check this thing out. Hammering down the rails. So before, whenever this was like I think it was like the 036 turnout, this train would derail every time. Every single time. Now that all the 036 is gone, guys, we are ready to run. Some of the 048s, like up there, it really needs to be the larger curve, the 072. That one needs to be 072, and eventually we will get it. But the majority of the layout is ready for any kind of engine that Lionel produces now. Before, I've been limited to what I can run on this layout. So this really opens up all of the possibilities of power that we can get for this layout. We can get some pretty large conventional engines and train cars and run on this line. I love it. I love this engine. This sucker does work. Going through that turnout. God, I love it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and switch it back to the large main line. We've already thrown the switch. Before, that right there would be an issue. He couldn't have done it at that speed. So let's go in here in the shop. I'm going to let you guys look at some track. Forgive the mess. All of these boxes are from trains.com. Guys, it's been a fortune to get this thing running. Oh yeah, we lost so the train actually lost connection with the controller and it shut itself off. So that's fine, because I'm gonna park it here in a minute anyways. So this right here is a piece of track for 1 year, or over almost a year and like 4 months, was left outside with no treatment. You guys can see the rust on it. This can be easily cleaned up and still used. This piece of track right here has been out the entire time. This is one of the original pieces of track. I did remove it because you guys can see it's got some crazy wear. And I actually broke it by accident because I had it nailed down to a part of the line, and I accidentally broke it. But long story short, guys, look at this. Underside coated with no wax, zero rust except for, well, no, that's not even rust. That's just dirt. So no wax, no rust, no rust, no wax coated. This is some new track that I haven't used. These are some turnouts with no wax coating, no rust. Let's try to find another piece. So this is another piece that I put outside with the no wax, without no wax treatment. You guys can see that this piece of track is pretty eat up. I could get this thing clean and make it run again, but I wouldn't trust it. So this is what a piece of track would look like without being treated with no wax. So you've got a non-treated track and you've got a treated track. Minimal side rust, but guys, that's not bad. I mean, it would probably take 5 years to rust this out. By that time, you can replace a piece of track that messes up. I mean, it's fine, you know. The main thing is the rail head is perfect. Your riding surface, perfect. And it works. Guys, big shout out to trains.com. It's trains with a Z. They've helped me out a lot. Like I said, I'm not sponsored by them. But, you know, they get my shipments normally within a day. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this layout. And we'll see you on the next one. Hopefully this answers some questions. We'll see you on the next one.